If you do not know the difference between perfume sillage, perfume projection, and perfume longevity, then this is your video. What's up, you guys? This is your wing lady, and I'm back today with another beautiful video. Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well, because I'm doing great, and I'm excited today because this video was actually requested by some of my beautiful ladies, and so I'm here to deliver. Now, there are some perfume terms or terminologies that we use every day. Most fragrance influencers, reviewers, and creators use them, and you might be confused because sometimes they are used interchangeably. So I'm going to be breaking each one of them down so that the next time you hear perfume sillage, perfume longevity, whichever one of them that you hear, you're going to know exactly what it means. Yes, this is a fragrance review channel, but it is also a fragrance education channel, and we never stop learning. So let's get to it. Now, the first one is sillage. Perfume sillage means perfume trail, perfume scent trail. When you put your fragrances on and you're here in this room and you step out and we can still smell you in this room when you're not here, that is sillage. That is sillage. Perfume sillage is the trail, the scent trail that your perfume leaves as you walk about and go about your day. Now, it doesn't always have to be when you've left the room. Perfume sillage can also go ahead of you. Like, you're not here yet, but I can smell you. That is perfume sillage. Like, you're not in this room here, but me in this room, I can smell you before you're even here. That means your perfume has amazing sillage. It has went ahead of you and announced your presence before you ever stepped foot into that room. Sillage is when the fragrance goes ahead of you, or when you left there and your fragrance is still in the room. That's a scent trail. It's like aroma. For longevity, perfume longevity is how long your fragrance lasts on you. How long can we still smell the fragrance on you before we can no longer smell it? For example, when I'm testing out fragrances, I spray on my perfumes about 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning, and then I go out to work. If at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. you can still smell the perfume that I sprayed on at 9 a.m., then that perfume has amazing longevity. Longevity is how long it stays on you after the initial first spray. Now, take note, if you want to try out perfume longevity, you cannot top up. You cannot spray one at 9 a.m. and spray again at 12 and spray again at 2 and then say it has longevity. No, obviously you top. No, you cannot top up when you're testing perfume longevity. You have to let it stay. The one that you sprayed in the morning, see if you're still going to smell it or smell the skeletons by 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. They are going to say, okay, it lasts 8 hours, or it lasts 7 hours, or it lasts 9 hours. That is longevity. You can also test it on clothes. If you want to test how long lasting, what is the longevity of your fragrance, spray it now on your clothes and put it somewhere. And then come back in like 10 hours time and smell it. If you can still perceive that fragrance, then it has 10 hours longevity. That is just longevity. Longevity is how long. Now, on to perfume projection. Perfume projection is how far. How does your fragrance travel ahead? How much? How farther does it travel while you are in this room? So let's say I'm seated right here now, and someone is 10 feet away from me, and they are smelling my perfume. That is projection. That means my fragrance is projecting forward from where I am far. So let's say at 5 feet, you can smell me. That means the perfume has a 5 feet projection. At 10 feet, you can still smell my fragrance without me moving from the spot. That means it has a projection of 10 feet. If at 15 feet, someone that is far at 15 feet can still smell me, that means he has 15 feet projection. If at 20 feet, someone standing at 20 feet can still smell me while I'm here, not moving from the spot, then you know that perfume has beast mode projection. Projection is how far it goes. How much, what surface area, how big, how large, what is the surface area, what is the width and the length and the breadth of your fragrance. How much does it go when you are seated in a particular spot or when you're standing in a particular spot. Now, don't mistake projection for sillage, because sillage is still there after you have left. Perfume projection might not be there after you leave. If I move from this spot right now, you might not be able to smell me again. You might not know that I even stepped into this room. So that means that perfume does not have sillage, but it has projection. So they are two different things. Now let's talk about notes. Perfume notes are typically divided into three: the top notes, the hot notes, and the base notes. Now for the top notes, The top notes are those ones that you get immediately you spray the perfume. Like you spray it now. It is usually the combination of the top notes that come straight at you, that you smell instantly. Since the notes make up the entire perfume, there are differences. Like ingredients. It's like when you're cooking. Some ingredients you put at the bottom. Some you put, halfway through cooking. And then some you put at the last stage of cooking. Let me explain. If you're cooking rice, obviously you start with the rice because it is heavier. Now, if you need veggies, you want to add veggies, you put those when the rice is almost done. And then finally, you want to add garnishing like onions, like butter, like margarine. You put those at the top, okay? So, when you open your pot of jollof rice, what you smell instantly is the onions and the butter. You don't smell the rice. You don't smell the base notes instantly. That takes a while for you to actually get. So, the first experience that you get of a perfume is usually the top notes. And then at a starting to dry, because perfume has alcohol. That alcohol is the vehicle that is used to mix with the ingredients of the fragrances to carry it as a vehicle to make it smell to your nose. So the top ones are the first experience that you have of that fragrance. Now when you allow the alcohol to dry down, to evaporate, you begin to get the real scent. That is the heart notes and the base notes. Those also come together in addition with the top notes to give you the experience of that fragrance. Do you get me? Top, heart, and bottom, they all make up the perfume, but you get to the top first, and then the heart, and then the base. The base serves as the background or the anchor, like the weight that carries the fragrance. Now, when we talk about perfume accords are a blend of notes. Perfume accord, you can have gourmand accord. Now, when we say gourmand, there are so many notes that make up the gourmand category. Caramel is gourmand. Sugar is gourmand. Honey is gourmand. Vanilla is gourmand. Cream, whipped cream, they are all gourmand. Now, all of those notes blend together gives you an accord. So an accord is like the marrying, the meshing together of all notes to make a particular accord. Yes. So the blend of similar notes is what we call accord. If we say a fragrance has a fruity accord, that means it has a combination of fruits. Let's say strawberry, raspberry, cherry, mangoes, oranges. Those are fruits, fruity notes. So a blend of all of those fruity notes gives us a fruity accord. If we say a fragrance has floral accord, that means it has a blend of floral notes. The jasmine, the ylang ylang, the lily of the valley, the roses, those are all floral notes. Now, when you take floral notes and take them together, you blend them together, you now have a floral accord. Now, the next terminology is dry down. What does dry down of a fragrance mean? Okay, when you spray out a fragrance, the initial thing that you get is the initial spray. It is the initial experience that you get of that fragrance. Now, after about 30 minutes or an hour, when all the alcohol has evaporated and you are left with the essence of the scent, the oil left behind, the real thing that is smelling in that fragrance, that is when you have the dry down. Dry down simply means after the alcohol has evaporated and you now have time to actually sit with the scent itself, sit with the fragrance. After some time is when you have the dry down. Now, dry down I think is in stages. For developing fragrances, you can have the first hour smelling like the top notes, and then by the third hour, you're still in like the heart notes, and then by the sixth hour, you are now smelling the base notes. Some fragrances are like that. They smell differently based on time. So you have the dry down stages. But basically, it means after the initial burst of alcohol has evaporated. And then finally, we have perfume maturation. Now, this one might require a whole new video because I'm learning new things about maturation, maceration every day. Now, perfume maturation is when you have bought your fragrance, you've opened it, you spray it out, and then you put it back in your shelf to give it time to develop, to give it time to mature, to give it time to blend more, to get better. It happens between the space of a week until the fragrance gets to the optimal level. I think maturation can last years because some fragrances change, they age like fine wine. What you smell this year when you bought it is not going to be the same thing as you smell next year after it has spent 12 months on your shelf. So perfume maturation can take any time between a week, a couple of weeks, 2 years. That's what you get after the manufacturer has already blended the fragrance and you have sprayed it out. Allow some oxygen to enter in through the atomizer into the fragrance, and then allow the fragrance to mix and blend well and sort of like mature to give it a denser, thicker, more long-lasting, intense smell. So that is maturation. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. One day I'm going to give a TED Talk. It's going to be amazing. All right, you guys, thank you for watching the video until the very end. If you did actually watch it until the very end, please leave me a lovely comment so that I can read it, have my day brightened, and then reply to you as well. I love reading your comments and replying. Thank you so much, you guys. If you want to follow me on social media, on Instagram is winglady_, and then on TikTok is winglady_beauty. If you want a one-on-one with me, the link will be in the description box. Thank you so much, you guys. I love you. And until next time, mwah, mwah, mwah. Ciao.